Thank you so much for staying with us, everyone. It's an interesting moment in the nation's history, is it? But let's find out what is happening around the country politically, of course. Let's begin by telling you about the president's trip to Morocco. He has left for Marrakesh in Morocco to attend the United Nations Convention on Climate Change, known as COP22. COP22. President Muhammadu Buhari, who departed at about 4 p.m. today, will deliver a statement in the opening plenary session. His address will highlight Nigeria's commitment to implementing the nationally determined contributions and policy actions on climate change. President Buhari will also use the occasion to convey support for the revival of the Lake Chad Basin and the cleanup of Ogoniland in the Niger Delta region. There has been an undercurrent, of course, when we move away from the president's trip to Morocco and to some state of the nation and issues on the economy. Undercurrent, of course, within the government, both in the legislative and executive arm of government, in what is now, no doubt, a frustrating relationship between the executive and legislature. But today, in an unusual Monday closed-door meeting, the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has held a closed-door meeting with National Assembly leaders, which includes Dr. Bukola Saraki, the Senate President, and Honorable Yakubu Dogara, the House of Reps Speaker at the Presidential Villa. Also present at the meeting are the chairman of the Governors Forum, Abdulaziz Yari, the governor of Imo State, who is also the chairman of the APC Governors Forum, Rochas Okorocha, and the governor of Ogun State and Osun State. Well, details of the meeting were not disclosed to journalists, but feelers have it that the meeting may be in connection with the $30 billion loan request made by President Muhammadu Buhari. The meeting, which started at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, ended about 5 p.m. when the Senate President told State House correspondents that the meeting is designed to move the nation forward. Let's take a listen to him now.
All for good governance, inclusion, and great collaboration with all arms. The states are here, National Assembly, Executive. Those come up with ideas of how to just, make things work even better. That's all.
Very short and rapid one from the Senate President, not really disclosing so much of what is happening. Let's get more perspective now to give us details of what a busy day it has been at the Presidential Villa and the atmosphere there at the seat of government in Abuja, the political capital of the nation. Chukuma Onuyekusi, my colleague covering the State House, joins me to give insight into some of the activities at the Villa today. Chukuma, pleasure to have you join us on the program tonight. But do tell us, we know how close you are to the seat of power, and you're there every day of the week. Do tell us what it was like. The president is not around today, but it's usually, it's an unusual meeting to find the vice president, the leaders of the National Assembly, some of these governors usually, that they will be in their state. They are meeting there. Apart from what the Senate president told you guys, what more do we know?
Thank you very much, Shehu. One would have expected that on a day the president is leaving the country, all roads would maybe lead to the airport to see him off. But that was not the case today. As the president was about departing the presidential villa, the Senate President stormed into the presidential villa with the Speaker of the House of Representatives, governors of Zamfara, the governor of Imo, Ogu, Osun, Adamawa, as you enumerated them. And it was like, what's happening? We don't usually see the Senate President that way. But because of the situation like you reeled out, when you see the Senate President, the leadership of the National Assembly coming to meet with the Vice President, who is in charge of the economic team, as it were, you know, of course, that speculation will be rife in the air that it may be in connection with the borrowing plan, the $30 billion borrowing plan, and that's why we had to stay back to see what the outcome was going to be. And of course, you know, in our usual journalistic manner, we waited. And when they came out, you could see the tension from the way they were descending from the vice president's office, that all was not well. Maybe they didn't agree in that meeting, and we followed up immediately to find out from the chairman of the Governors Forum, who is the Zamfara State Governor, to find out he refused to talk to us. What we got from the Senate President, as a matter of fact, is that the Vice President's office was going to issue a statement on that matter. Up till now, as we speak, we're still waiting for the statement on that matter. But of course, you know, the Senate President is swift in his manner. He's a journalist, this thing, anytime. He could to stop him and he will talk to you. The journalist, a favorite at each point in time. In his swift manner, he said, well, it is all about good governance. It's just to ensure collaboration. It's just to ensure that everybody is carried along. And so we concluded that it may be in connection with that borrowing plan. Of course, if it is a meeting with the vice president who is in charge of the economic team, it may be to, like you heard the president and the president's men always say, to iron out the gray areas in that borrowing plan.
All right, Chukuma, a lot of people will think that as it stands now, it doesn't look like all is well within the APC, the ruling party, which of course most of the people who attended this meeting are leaders of the party. And it looks so much now that the frustrated relationship, I know you've seen a lot of people visit the president for several years. You have been following and covering the State House. Tell us what the mood is like now. This seems to be one of the most tense atmosphere we have seen in government, politically, of course, when you find the National Assembly leadership and the executive being in a sort of a loggerhead over issues like this. What is it like today? Does it look like we might be seeing some unrest politically within the APC?
Well, Shell, you know, ours is to report events as they happen. And most of the reports we do, except you want us to delve in the realm of speculation, we tried to find out from those gladiators in the political field. And if I re-echo the Senate President, nothing of great alarm. That's it. And except if you look at the undercurrent, then political realignment and what have you is not ruled out at all. Like I told you, as I told you earlier, it's very rare to see the Senate President in the Vice President's office. Economically, there might be some issues they want to iron out concerning the 30 billion. But politically, so many things might be going under the bridge that we will not be told. But if you want us to begin to speculate, we had a lot.
No speculations there, no speculations. But tell me, what other things are not on camera that you heard that you can tell us about? Of course, we know that there might be a representation of the proposal to borrow about $30 billion US. What exactly are you hearing on the side that perhaps you were unable to catch on camera?
You can be sure that a lot of political realignments are going on in the political scene. The president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, if you've studied him very well, is a man that has got his own heart, you know. So you can't shake him easily. So you have to really meet. You have to strategize to convince him on what to do and what not to do. And that is the undercurrent we are reading and we try to study every day. The people that he works with, the political gladiators that he came to power with, also have to work hard to convince him. But so many people have said that he's really not a hardcore politician. So when he wants to take a decision, he goes right away to take it. And then for you to really make him change his mind, you have to discuss. And that is maybe part of why this kind of meetings are going on everywhere to get the president to understand and carry everybody along. That is why the president said it is about good governance, it is about collaboration, it is about inclusion, So that is what it is politically, Shehu.
Thank you so much, Chukuma Onokusi. There for us, our eye there at the State House, the president's home and where he walks from. Chukuma will be giving us more as soon as he gets some of those information about what may be the move to represent the proposal to get a 50 billion foreign loan, 30 billion, I beg your pardon, dollar foreign loan. But we'll take a moment. And when we return, more on the intrigues on the foreign loan request and the way forward on the program right here. Join us again.